the repetition. It basically says, I give you a stimulus. That stimulus causes an emotional response. That's really all the pinch in the ouch is.
I know what that meant to you. I'll make it up to you, Kay. I swear I'll make it up to you. I'm gonna change. I'll change. I've learned that I have the strength to change. And you'll forget about this miscarriage. And we'll have another child. And we'll go on. You and I. We'll go on.
Oh, Michael. Michael, you are blind. It wasn't a miscarriage. It was an abortion.
Hey, 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 hey. That's 470.
Come on. You serious?
That's okay. We're good.
Thanks, Joe.
I thought you were in school.
Teacher bailed on our class.
What do you mean he bailed?
Teacher walked out.
Make sure and tell your mother what happened at school.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yes.
Here's your usual, Chief.
Thanks, Joe.
You want some 11-year-old kid from the Bronx shooting up his...
What rationalization is that?
Oh, no, the whole idea that...
You want that shit good shit on the street? I don't want you.
Well, something's going to end on the street sooner or later.
Hi. Mr. Cadeau here. Hey, you in the class, wake up, okay? This isn't a damn reserve, okay? It's a schoolroom.
So terrifying is that wonderful motion, wrenching and disturbing.
It's has changed over the years when it comes to actors, right? Different times. So as an actor, Sanford Meisner was a name that was given to me in my early years when I was about 23 by an actor-director by the name of June Whitaker. She lived in West Vancouver. At the time, I was taking modeling acting course at Barbizon School of Modeling fall 1980. And that was all like pretty boy stuff. And then I learned acting from Paul Batson, a local actor. And he first thing I wanted to do was, we all had to pick monologues. So I picked King Lear. Here I am, 24 years old. And I did my thing, and he stopped me right away. And then he had a bunch of guys hold me down, and like I was a young hairdresser, but I just got off the oil rig, so I was big, and I was a pretty big, tough guy, and they couldn't hold me down. But then he said, line! And I started doing the lines with these guys holding me down. So I learned something about acting then, still not knowing anything about it. Then I learned acting from a theater director by the name of Alex Brahansky, who did another 3 months in the spring of '81, where I learned acting and voice and movement. And that was from Stanislavski, The Imaginary If. And we're now getting into that imaginary circumstances reality that Sanford Meisner taught my mentor at the time, June Whitaker, and of course Alex and Paul Batten, as well as another late film director, Jim Scotland. Jim Scotland was a guy right from Hollywood. He was a real shyster kind of guy, but he was a good promoter, right? So we were doing film acting in his apartment with a whole bunch of us from the West End, Vancouver, the famous, now talented Marie Clement, who took the acting workshop. Now she's a great writer, film director, and I'm so proud of her. So we learned acting in that way and Meisner came up then as well. But it was more with Lee Strasberg. So it's all sort of interconnected, right? Being truthful in imaginary circumstances, moment to moment, right? So then I started, in 1982. At that time, I was taking dance classes, modern dance classes, jazz with terpsichord, a lady by the name of Christine Chipperfield, very talented lady. So I was young, I was trying to find my voice, realize my potential in life, and I had no idea what I was doing, right? I was working as a hairdresser, I was working as a host in a restaurant, Elephant Castle restaurant, so I'll always be writing and I'll be trying my lines out on customers, so it was lots of fun, and I drove people crazy. But nevertheless, Sanford Meisner was always in and out of that area, and I didn't study him like I did today, right? Because I just, it was back then, it was libraries back then. Just as a native back then, I was just, wanted to see what I could do, right? So meeting June Whitaker, I don't know how I can't remember how we met her, but she had acting classes in North Vancouver. So I went and met her, right? So I audited the class. It was very intense. Young actors and great talent back then, models and actors. And so I decided to take the class, and I took the class for a year. It was twice a week. And it was amazing because we watching the films now in Meisner, because we have so much availability to information. I was seeing the parallels when they were talking about repetition. We did that exercise. We would sit from two chairs, right, and we were just taking the person right through our senses, right, and really not look for something to say or want something to say, but finding that emotional impulse. And it'll be like something from the other actor, like her hair or her mouth, or as in these exercises here. It was quite fun. It was quite funny. It was lots of fun, but it really allowed us to get inside our bodies and outside of this sort of outside of our head, right? Because we get bombarded by Hollywood and all this cultural bullshit. Excuse my language. So yes, we did the repetition exercise, lots of fun. And then we started getting into the improv scenes dealing with hidden objectives. And they talk about that in the film. Hidden objectives and that knock on the door off stage, which is the springboard to start the scene, right? So two-actor scene, the actor off stage would have this urgency, and you got to have an urgency for both actors, right? So both actors have this sense of urgency in their hidden objectives, and then that knock on the door is the springboard. And for example, it's really about maintaining an objective, committing yourself to the scene, being truthful in imaginary circumstances, and staying moment to moment, right? And being really aware of listening to the other actor and being connected in that moment. So yes, the hidden objectives, and we had to really watch it because June Whitaker would just let it go, right? The scene would get so intense, right? And then we'd have to, just cut, right? Because it really got intense. Because you have to have that control as an actor when you're dealing with the emotionality of the human condition. That 10% as an actor, I'm only acting, and then just let it go after the scene, hunker down, right? then I'm now talking about other practices, emblematic acting, which I learned in university when you're dealing with the interiority or the exteriority of the body. So that's my take on Sanford Meisner as an actor. I'm showing you images of my young days as an actor, as working in Hollywood, working as an extra, working as a dancer, and singer, songwriter in theater. So there I am. Here I am as an actor that I've learned a lot about Sanford Meisner. This course is opening up a lot more dealing with the gentleman. Of course, I've never met, but I've of course met with great actors that have worked with within that realm, like Sylvester Stallone, Richard Crenna, Brian Dennehy, which I worked on First Blood, Eric Stoltz in Fly 2, Beverly D'Angelo. I also worked, and Richard Crenna. I worked again on an NBC movie of the week, Jonathan Stone, Threat of Innocence, where I was a Sioux bodyguard with a chastity belt for Beverly Angelo's character, which basically I was a chastity belt with a gun. Stereotyping. So there I was. They paid me big money, right? 10,000 American. I worked 4 days in a month. I had to stay in Seattle, fancy place. But even though those perks are there, I had to be prepared as an actor. The first day they hired me. It was the Stunt Scene with Richard, and I first worked with Richard and First Blood back in '82. I was his stand-in, so I had to deal with the technical and all lighting and cameras of the principal actors. A great learning experience. Plus, I got lots of extra work out of that too. But working with Richard again was great because he remembered me. So it was great to work with him as an actor in the film. So the first scene we had to do, it was a stunt scene, and Beverly D'Angelo jumps on me, and we twirl around, and I throw her off. And then, of course, Richard, he hits me, right? And I have to do a roundhouse with a punch, right? And the kick. But I learned all that in theater, stunt theater, and theater school, and dealing with the National Voice Intensive with David Smuckler, some other Robert Meisner, some other great. Linda Putnam too was a great actress. So first day they hired me. I had to do all that because if you're not trained as an actor dealing with that moment to moment, especially those first days, they'll get rid of you. Okay, well, he can't do the roundhouse punch. He can't do stunts. So they kept me, right? Plus, in Wendigo, when I did the film Wendigo, I did a French lead. I had to speak French for the film, French and English. And they flew me in from Vancouver. And there, it was a real method, Sanford Meisner moment of dealing as an actor, right? I just immersed myself intensely in the moments, right? And it was problematic too because cultural authenticity, cultural protocol, and I found out the creative team didn't pay respect to the elder, and I stopped production for 2 days. I wrote a big letter and I stopped production for 2 days. 2 days as the lead role with Eddie LaRoche, because the creator allowed me that gift. Because in 1983 I was studying university first time. And I sarcastically said to one of the film students, oh, well, 10 years I'm going to do a feature role in a feature film, a lead role in a feature film. Well, lo and behold, the creator granted me that, because that was October 1983. October 1993, I was working on Wendigo as a lead role. And it's all dealing with opportunities, listening inside and outside the theater world, off stage, on stage. Doing the best you can be as an actor, being humble, respectful, and staying in the moment, truthful under imaginary circumstances, right? So yes, Sanford Meisner, great influence on all actors, right? And June Whitaker, I raised my hands up to her, Whitaker, OCM, Gayla Kessner, for teaching me so much, because that was in Sailors territory and Quagga territory. And I played so many Indians in the Hollywood movies. That's why I started out like that with his wig. Because one of my first auditions, I was in West Van. So that was with Jim Scotland too, because he'd get those jobs. So So I go buy a wig, and I get this Hollywood outfit, and they take me up the West Van Hills area, and I got a knife in my mouth, and they're taking pictures, and Hollywood Indians. But actors, Maureen McKellar also said, don't look down at small parts and extra work, right? Because it's all a stepping stone, right? As an actor, right? Don't look down at any work, right? Because you never know who you're going to meet and what doors open. So thank you. Yes, Sanford Meisner. I say hi to Ocean, Gala Kessler.